Justice League number 23, written by Jeff Johns, art by Ivan Reyes. This is the conclusion to Trinity War. And, yep, so I think the last issue was Justice League Dark, but this one honestly picks up with a flashback saying it all started 5 years ago when we were fighting against Darkseid. And we see them punching each other. And then it says that on the same day, because the barriers between the universe were so thin, two people managed to break through from their universe to elsewhere. And this is all told from the perspective of the outsider. And he's like, yep, it was me and this female that we'll get to. And so as the Justice League continued fighting threats about Outsider got used to the world, apparently like East and West were flipped. It was all things that he had to get used to. But he was like, okay, so my whole goal here is to get my master, Outsider's master. And so he looked into a bunch of stuff and discovered Pandora's box in like a book. And he's like, wait a minute, that looks familiar. I know where that thing came from. So he said, all right, my plan is I'm going to get Pandora's box, but I don't even know where to begin looking. But the Justice League seems to get themselves into all sorts of trouble. So I'm just going to wait for them to find it. But I'm going to like tease it out in the meantime. So he made the society. He started with Professor Ivo as his first one, and then he just kept building off of that. And he just waited until the leagues, like he forced the Justice League of America into existence and all this other stuff. And all he was waiting for is for Pandora's box to show up and him to be able to get his hands on it so that he's able to get his master free. So we see that all of the different Justice Leagues have converged on the Temple of Hephaestus, which is where Madame Xanadu was being kept, and now Pandora's box is as well, in the hands of John Constantine. And as he's holding on to it, basically everyone starts feeling the effects of the box, and they're like, hey, wait a minute, I want that box, or hey, wait a minute, I don't like you, because that's just a thing that happens. Like, for instance, multiple times over the next few pages, Steve Trevor basically hates Superman because Superman is with Wonder Woman, and he's just like, I hope he dies because he took my woman. So at this point, we see Vibes getting a bit of a headache because something around here is not from our universe, and that's just one of his powers. And as Batman's saying, like, hey, Constantine, we're going to need the box. He's like, no. I'm the only one who can handle this. It can't corrupt me because I'm that special cool. And he turns to, like, Zatanna to say, hey, isn't that right? Like, can you back me up on this? And she's just like, you're awful and my father would hate you. And it's like, ah, crap, it's affecting you too. And yes, we get a 2-page layout here of literally everybody coming after Constantine for the box. So giant fight scene breaks out. We see everybody attacking everybody. The Pandora's box goes flying. Batman manages to get it in a belt, and he's just dragging it along him. We see Simon Baz goes to attack him, and he's like, you can't stop me. I'm a Green Lantern. I ain't afraid of nothing. And then Batman just punches him in the face. So as this is going on, we see Superman finally is joining in the fight, and he comes in and attacks Simon. Mind you, Mera shows up, like Aquaman's girlfriend, and on the next page they're like, Mera, what in the hell are you doing here? You're not on any of the teams. And then it turns out it's actually just Martian Manhunter. But like, this doesn't come back. This doesn't do anything, which makes me think that they just accidentally drew Mera into this scene and we're like, oh, wait, crap. We can't go back and fix that. Let's just say it's Martian Manhunter. So we see questions going after Pandora, like, oh, if I get to open the box, will I finally find out the question of who I really am? And Pandora's like, no, probably not. I don't see how that makes any sense. So we see Superman is also like, Wonder Woman, I think that you're going to leave me for Batman because I think that, or maybe you'll go for Steve. I don't know. I'm very insecure about our relationship. It's just a whole thing. But regardless, Superman wants to kill Batman now because of the box. But as they get a blowback from their fight, Batman drops the box. It goes inert, and he's like, whoa, hold on, everybody. The box went off. Are we cool now? Is everyone feeling cool? And it's like, yeah, no, we're all cool. Sweet. Awesome. And Wonder Woman realizes, like, wait a minute, hold on. Why is the box, like, hurting Superman like this, making him sick, and none of us? And Firestorm's like, oh, wait, hold on. I'm able to see something here. He's giving off kryptonite radiation. There's kryptonite in his body. And they're like, wait a minute, how do you get kryptonite in his body? So Element Woman turns into oxygen, goes throughout his body, and is just like, yeah, no, it's one of his brain cells. There's kryptonite in it. And Cyborg's like, where the hell did that come from? And the Atom chimes up and says, oh, I put it there. He's like, what? Why did you put it there? I was like, yeah, during the fight with Dr. Light, I shrunk down into his ear and shoved the shard of kryptonite into his brain to make his heat vision go off. And he's like, what? Why? He's like, oh, well, because I don't work with either of you. I'm a traitor. And Cyborg's like, what? He's like, yeah, well, so are you. And then all of a sudden, Cyborg's metal parts, his robot parts, start talking on their own, saying like, yeah, I'm done with the flesh parts. And it starts separating off of his body in a truly horrific page. And Batman is just like screaming out like, oh God, he's going to die. So Simon Baz puts him in a little Green Lantern cocoon long enough to allow his human bits to maybe keep living somehow. But all of the metal bits separate out and become a villain known as Grid. So then finally, we see Pandora's box. It's picked up by the Outsider. Flash tries to stop him, but it's too late. An Outsider explains, yeah, you guys think that this is like magic or religion or something. It's not. It's science. My world is the one that created it. It made it over to your guys' place, but like it acts as a doorway. Pandora's box is a lot like a mother box. It can create portals to other worlds. This one, however, is a specific link to my world, which is the birthplace of evil. And we also see in this reveal that Outsider is just the Earth 3 version of Alfred Pennyworth. So at that point, he opens up a portal, and out steps through it is evil Aquaman, who immediately drops dead. And then out steps behind him is the rest of the Injustice gang, or whatever they're called. And Xanadu's like, I knew it. I was right all along. This is Earth 3. So yeah, the rest of them pop out. We got Ultraman, Superwoman, Johnny Quick, I believe, Power Ring, Deathstorm, and Owlman. And then the evil Aquaman was known like, I think it was like, I don't know, Ocean Guy? Was Sea King. Close enough. So, turns out that the Atom is actually Atomica. She's in a relationship with Johnny Quick. And it's just like, yeah, no, this world kind of sucks. Outsider goes to Owlman and was like, I got you here. You're welcome to your new home, Master Thomas. He's like, psh, took you long enough. So Power Ring starts attacking all of them. They look over at Grid and they're like, hold on, who's this guy? What's his deal? And Atomica's like, oh, he's a computer virus. That's totally cool and is totally on our side. And they're like, sweet, awesome, welcome to the team. And then Superwoman in her lasso of barbed wire brings out a prisoner saying, oh, let's keep a special eye on this guy. This guy with a bag over his head, he's going to be super important. So keep an eye on him. And they look out at the Justice League and it's like, oh wow, you guys look just like us and like all of our old allies who have died. But regardless, it's time. This world now belongs to the Crime Syndicate. That's what they're called, Crime Syndicate. Okay. Trinity War is over, and we are leading directly into Forever Evil, because, yes, of course we are. It was a good explanation issue. I'll give you that. I think it did a good job of doing the whole thing of saying like, oh, okay, they came over 5 years ago. They've just been chilling around. They've been developing these plans in order to get the rest of the Earth 3 crew over. I'm good with that. That's a fine enough explanation. But looking at it now at the end of it all, it's not an event. This Trinity War is not an event. It is a prelude to an event that they just itself called an event. So, if anything, I'd call it a crossover, but even that's a little bit weak. So, yeah, it's just a lead into Forever Evil. It's not bad. I think that the art and the storytelling is very well written. It keeps these three plots each going on their own. But in the end, nobody really did anything. And all that happened is that Pandora's box got to the Outsider, which frankly, if Pandora was aware of the Outsider at the beginning of this event, she probably would have given it to him to try to open it, because she was all in on hey, I'm going to let pure evil people try to do it. And that's another thing, is that the box can only be opened by people who are from Earth 3. So how did Pandora open it to begin with? I guess she didn't. Sure. So yeah, anyway, it's a fine enough issue on its own. It is just a shame that it's part of this larger thing that isn't really a thing, because Forever Evil's where it begins. So I'm going to give this one, I'll give it a 7.5. And a lot of that is because the art and writing is still good independently. I'm trying to divorce it from the idea of it's part of this larger event, but yeah, it's kind of just a little bit of letdown there. If this was a good event, this would probably be like an 8.5 or so, but it's a 7.5. So yeah,